Gita Essentials course. The earlier name for this used to be Journey of Self-Discovery or Sutras for Self-Discovery. And because there was times in India when Gita was not that a fashion. Gita was not that a very accepted thing that, oh, you want to know Gita. But lately, people's interest for Dharma, for Bhagavad Gita has risen. So therefore, instead of having indirect names, we thought of having directly the Bhagavad Gita, because the message is the same, and just the naming we had changed. So therefore, you may have seen a different type of name that was there. How many are coming to the temple for the first time today? Okay, 3 of you. So most special welcome to 3 of you that have landed at Radha Gopinath for this course. How many of you are very regular here, like been coming for years? So thank you. Anyone coming beyond Dadar here? Dadar ke beyond Dadar? Okay, some of you. Beyond Borivali? Oh. Beyond Thane? And beyond Vashi? Beyond Vashi. So, most special, welcome to those who took out your time in the evening to come from so far, and also those who are nearby. Anybody from this street here? From Grant Road? Anyone from Grant Road?
Yes.
Some of you. From Pedder Road? Okay, some of you. So for you it is walking, for others it's long, far away. So the Bhagavad Gita is part of the gamut of Vedic literatures that are available in India, which are ancient, timeless. At least 5,000 years have been dated for these scriptures. And if you are a Hindu, then these are the books that you are supposed to know. Just like if you are a lawyer, you are supposed to know the law books. But it's too much. Like they say, if other religions have a book, India has a library. There's so many books with so much details, and sometimes we get confused about too many details. Anyone has this experience that when you search on Google, you get confused and get the answer? And of course now ChatGPT has come to remove the confusion, but you don't know whether it's accurate or not. So, of all the Vedic literatures that are there, if there is one book that stands out as the essence, the most important, the most relevant to our times and all times, is the Gita, and therefore it's called as Gita Upanishad. And Upanishad is technically called as that which you learn close to a teacher, Upanishad, close by. And also it means something that takes you closer to the truth, to the reality. So there is no other book that can take us to the complete overview of reality than the Bhagavad Gita. And it was spoken to someone not sitting in a forest, having luxury of time. Abhi sunaiye Swami ji, जीवन क्या है? It was spoken at one of the most stressed times, just before a war, and a war between परिवार. परिवार में war hota hai, it is much easier to handle battles outside than to deal with battles at your home and battles that are within you. The more closer a battle is, the harder it is to fight or to neglect. And therefore, the Bhagavad Gita is that book that was spoken to a warrior who was stressed, who was in a stressful situation, and someone who wanted to act right in this world. And out of confusion, he wanted to desist from acting. मतलब मैं सब कुछ छोड़ के जाता हूँ जंगल में. And at times, we do feel such kind of, dejection. क्या फायदा ये सब करके? And it is to those individuals and to all of us who will face such kind of, collapse of our expectations, collapse of our plans, now or later, that how do we continue with hope? How do we continue with strength? And how do we continue to be happy in spite of all the difficulties that are facing? Just like now we are in an air-conditioned room. Outside, it's hot. But because you have placed yourself in a cubicle that's air-conditioned, you are not experiencing that heat. And now very soon rainy season is going to start. And can you stop the rains? You can't. We want the rains. But at the same time, when rains come, to some extent it's an obstacle. So what do? You carry a umbrella. And that umbrella, it won't guarantee you that you won't get wet at all. But what it guarantees you is that you won't get sick because of the water. थोड़ा बहुत तो भीगेंगे, और बॉम्बे के बारिश में तो कभी कभी अम्ब्रेला भी कुछ काम का नहीं है. You need raincoats, fully proof. And the issue with raincoats is that बाहर से गीला नहीं होंगे, लेकिन अंदर से पसीने के कारण गीला हो जाते लोग. So umbrella protects you from the rain. Although you are in the rain, you are shielded from all that. And that's what Gita helps us, is that Gita acts like that umbrella, acts like that air conditioner, that keeps you cool, that keeps you over all the anxieties, troubles that can come. ये आ नहीं रहा है क्या? I was thinking all the while it's coming.
वो हिल जाता है ना,
अभी तो आया था जब मैं चालू किया था सेशन.
नहीं, वो हिल जाता है ना वायर. देखो यहाँ से हिल जाते हैं.
ठीक है. So good that he came. Otherwise, I was thinking आप लोग देख रहे, क्योंकि मैं देख रहा हूँ इधर. So of all the Bhagavad Gitas, there are so many versions of the Gita that are there. And the founder of ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada, when he went to West, he was asked by many, which book do we read? If we want to know the Gita, which book do we read? And both are there.
It's okay like this. It's better.
It's better? Okay. Then switch it off. This better?
It's better.
Okay. So when he was asked, then he honestly could not come up with a version that was accurate to the original message. And that's when he wrote Bhagavad Gita as it is, to try to convey the message as it is. And anything that's pure has power. If water, if you collect it in the Himalayas. Anybody been to Badrinath here? Chardham? Anybody has drunk directly from the river Saraswati, directly from the source. Very pure, very nourishing. I still remember I drank that water maybe 15 years back, and it's amazing. It's so nourishing. So anything that's pure, whether it's food, whether it's water, it has power. And same with the message of the Gita that was delivered to Arjuna that could really lift him up from his anxieties. Many a times people add their own interpretations. There are books that are called as Gita as I think it is, or Gita as it was, or Gita as per me. So many versions. Gita for business, Gita for this. Yes, Gita does help many aspects of our life, but when we understand the pure message of the Gita, then it empowers us in all directions. So therefore the spirit of the Gita in which we have to approach the Bhagavad Gita is mentioned right in the Bhagavad Gita. Just like, if you want to take any pill, there is a doctor that prescribes, and also there are basic instructions what temperature is supposed to be kept, what kind of dosage is supposed to be taken. So the spirit of the Gita, which Krishna says in the Gita itself, is that if you want to understand Gita, the secret is that you have to be friendly. You have to be a friend of Krishna. Bhakto sime saka cheti rahasyam hi etat uttamam. Krishna tells Arjuna that, oh Arjuna, if you want to know really the secret of the Bhagavad Gita, then you have to be. So, yes, more or less, if we are open enough, I am not saying that we are like Arjuna, we are extremely devoted to Krishna, but at least if we are open enough to receive this message, then we will understand the message properly. So, to have some kind of openness or devotion, to accept Krishna is not just an ordinary human being, but as a supreme entity, being, and in a submissive spirit. Else it remains a great mystery. And in the old times, the only way I got to hear about the Gita was in the movies. When there was a court case. When there was a court case, what used to happen? The victim or whoever has to come, witness has to come, बोले गीता पे हाथ रख के बताइए, कसम खाओ कि जो कुछ भी बोलूँगा सच कहूँगा और सच के अलावा और कुछ नहीं करूँगा. So those times the Bhagavad Gita was the lie detector test. Now all types of electronic things have come which can be fooled. And on whom do we take a oath on something that is sacred to us? कुछ लोग गीता के ऊपर नहीं तो अपनी माँ के ऊपर कसम खाते हैं. माँ कसम, मैंने झूठ नहीं बोला है, मैंने ये नहीं लिया है. So, just as sacred is our mothers to us, same way in the Indian tradition, the Bhagavad Gita was the most sacred. And why was it so sacred? Because the help that Bhagavad Gita gives to our lives is something that is timeless. It has helped all stratas of people, even in the West. There are scientists, there are theologians like Einstein and Gandhi, who have said that it is the Gita that gives a fresh light. Whenever I face any problem, I open the Gita and the message is there. So the purpose of the Gita, I want to just share through a small video.
Welcome to 21st century where phones are wireless, cars are keyless, tires are tubeless, cooking is fireless, foods are fatless, relationships are meaningless, wives are fearless,
I didn't put that.
babies are fatherless, children are mannerless, feelings are heartless, attitude is careless, youths are jobless, education is clueless, teachers are passionless, students are interestless, leaders are shameless, government is careless, everything is becoming less.
So technology is a boon and also a bane. Technology के कारण there is wireless, there is so much, you can cook without fire, induction cookers and so many, technology is reducing and making our life more and more convenient. But one thing that technology is not able to lessen, reduce, is anxieties. As technology is progressing, more and more people are facing intense pressures, anxiety, and the number of mental disorders, people who are affected mentally, is growing. And is there answer to this evil inside? Technology can change human lifestyle, but it is the spirituality that can change our attitude, our mindset. And as I say, although Gita is 5000 years back old, where the entire way people lived then and now is different, the human psychology has not changed. Back then, people were fighting for power. Is there any less fight now? We just had the elections, and now, no? Intense battle, and not just there, even at home. No? Intense battle for kiski chalegi aaj? Kiska, no? Most of the times children win. Otherwise, their volumes are extreme. But otherwise, and this evil insight of anxiety is what the Gita promises. That Gita will give us clarity, will give us direction, give us strength to handle our anxieties, handle our mind in such a way that we will be able to overcome this evil that is inside. And now, especially in Bombay, the moment you come to Bombay, your anxiety levels double up. इसका टेंशन, उसका टेंशन, ये वाला, वो वाला. And the Gita, first of all, it will lessen, and ultimately it will. And I'm not saying this. This is what Krishna says in the Gita. Ma shucha sarvadharman parityajya mam ekam sharanoja aham tvam sarvapapyo mokshayishyami ma shucha. Oh Arjuna, you will be freed from all anxieties that you are now possessing, and that anxiety, that overthinking that Arjuna had in the beginning was so much that it just burdened him that he could not even lift his gandiva. He could not work. Sometimes it happens that इतना सोचते हैं कि सोच के लोग थक जाते हैं, या इतना सोचते हैं कि सोच के लोग डर जाते हैं. क्या होगा. All common experience. If the student is too nervous, too anxious about the exam, can he perform well in the exam? He can't. But when you are able to see the thing in the proper light, then you will be able to handle it. So, what causes anxiety? Initially, things start as anxiety, then it go to stress, and then they go to depression. So anxiety is a phase that most of us facing, and if you don't deal with that, it comes into a stress level, and if you don't deal with it further, then goes to the depression level. And therefore, the message of the Gita is important for us to be able to deal with our anxiety. And this is one common myth, that does money cause anxiety or solve anxiety? None.
I don't know.
Yeah, but
You don't?
I don't know.
I don't
I don't know. Okay. So money in one phase of our life it solves anxieties. In other, it causes anxieties.
Yeah, money causes anxiety sometimes.
If you don't have money, it causes anxiety. If you have money, it causes anxiety. So there is a beautiful poem about money and anxiety. Let's take that. Money can get you food, but not appetite. Yes, खाने से वो facility मिलता है, but not the ability. Money can get you a house, but not a home. Who's this? The complete man. Vijaypad Singhania, who is the owner of Raymond's, and his son, what's his name? Gautam Singhania. He बाहर फेंक दिया पिताजी को, threw him out of the house. क्या 1 BHK था घर, जगह नहीं था. It's a 32-floored house. 32 माले का घर है, और उसमें पिताजी के लिए जगह नहीं. And he trusted his son so much that he wrote everything on his son's name. And now he writes that money can get you a house, but not a home where there is love. Money can get you a bed, but not sleep. Especially so many in Bombay have sleep disorders. नींद आती ही नहीं है, and अभी ये मोबाइल आ गया और नींद हराम करने के लिए. Money can get you a pen, but not good handwriting. Money can get you clothes, but not manners. So much office, people may be dressed well, but may not have the most noble intentions. So just wearing Raymond's clothes or any of these brands, not going to elevate your consciousness. Sometimes there may be wolves in the Wall Street. Money can get you a book, but not knowledge. सब बुक खरीद करके तकिया बनाओ और सो जाओ, डाउनलोड हो जाएगा, अपलोड हो जाएगा. No. Money can get you a equipment, but not skill. People have latest gadgets with them, but apart from 1 or 2 things, they hardly use it. I know some of my grannies who get complicated with the washing machine, and they only use it to soak cloth, and then they give to the maid to wash. Money can get you instant happiness. Today is a times of instant gratification industry. Amazon and Zomato, Netflix. Abhi chahiye. As you desire, the genie is now not in the lamp. The genie is in the mobile. को ऐसा ऐसा करो, genie प्रकट हो जाएगा. So money can get you gratification, but not satisfaction. After few hours again it's back. And this is one of the biggest misnomers, that by having things you will become happy. And Many of the advertisements also portray that. This is a Coca-Cola advertisement long back. What is the hashtag? Open happiness. What you are not opening a bottle of Coke. ये सुख है. This is happiness. Or someone may, and you'll never see an ad where there is a sad person next to that. Even if it's a cancer treatment, even if it's a hospital, you'll see a smiling guy or a lady. And subconsciously what we think is that मेरे पास ये नहीं है क्योंकि मैंने अभी तक ये म्यूचुअल फंड में नहीं डाला है, या because I don't have this particular car, or because my pin code is something else, therefore I am not happy, or because I have not visited South Africa yet. There used to be ads on Peter Road. Come to South Africa, the land of the lions, or safari. And the most quizzical of all is this ad that I found. It says, found happiness at shadi.com. How many of you are married here? Anybody from shadi.com? No.
Yesterday his owner itself wrote that I lost 2 of my friends and now I realize that it's just a cycle.
Just a
Got
second.
it.
So, I do agree that some might have found happiness on shadi.com, but I also am pretty confident some might have found barbadi at shadi.com. That the kind of partner they got just ruined whatever peace of mind they had. So when it comes to things, this promise always eludes us that मुझे ये चीज नहीं है इसके लिए मैं खुश नहीं. There's always that one more ladder that eludes us, that because you don't have this thing, therefore there is anxiety. Look at Mukesh Ambani. क्या life है उसका? I need to get there. But if you talk to him, he has these anxieties, and biggest anxiety for everyone is future क्या होगा? मेरे बच्चे संभालेंगे कि नहीं? Because many times the son of a rich man cannot sustain the kind of rigor that he takes. So Arjuna in the Gita, he realized this at the very outset in 2.8, and he says, Nahi prapashyami mamanupadyat yashokamuchoshanam indriyana avapya bhukma vasapatna riddham rajyam suranam apichadipatyam. Arjuna says, Nahi prapashyami. Hey Krishna, my shoka, my anxiety is not going to come down even if I have indriyana, even if you have sense gratification, enjoyment that is available in the heavens. Avapya bhuvam asapatna. Asapatna means in the heavens. Or even if I get total control on this earth planet, I can find no means to drive away this grief which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to dispel it even if I win a prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth with sovereignty like the demigods in heaven. So Arjuna, he was able to come out of this first myth that most of us are not able to come out, that just having power or just having property, prosperity is going to solve the inner disease, inner insecurity, troubles that we have. And Arjuna, he clarifies that I have authority, even if I get authority over entire thing, my anxiety is not going to go away. And therefore he approaches Krishna, Krishna, please give me a higher level of understanding. Einstein says this, you cannot solve the problem at the same level of consciousness in which it was created. You have to rise above. There's a nice little video about happiness, which kind of summarizes all different attempts by which we tend to become happy. And it's kind of a rat race. It's on a rat. Let's see this. See, all the billboards are selling happiness. This happens in Bombay for seat, local train seat. West it happens on Black Friday. I want to forget all the troubles that you have in your life. Intoxicating. Next level is some kind of drug. After you come out of the drugs again, there is more hangover, more trouble, health-wise, mentally. And for all this, you need money for all buying all these things. You start to chase the money. This everyone is trapped in the anxiety. So it's not that poor people are happy. It's not that rich people are happy. And to equate that money can solve all problems of life is what is the myth. Yes, money is important as much as it is within our capacity. But we need to have, to come out of anxiety, we need to have clarity. What is the purpose for which I am having these things? And if the purpose is not proper, then more and more it will keep accumulating things and it will cause anxiety. Or we'll just go by popular opinion. Whatever everyone else is doing, let me do that. And there is constantly that social anxiety that I need to be liked by people. Especially after social media has come, when you post comparison, envy, oh, my friends are gone overseas, I'm still here sweating in the summer, wish I can go here and there. So when there is clarity of the purpose for the things at which you are having, then it won't create anxiety. So the antidote for anxiety is clarity. Any of you are aware of a movie that came in the 99 called as Matrix?
Yes.
How many of you seen it? So my spiritual push towards inquiry started in my first year of IIT when I watched this movie. And it really started to make me question about reality. That am I living in a world that's not real, that's not exactly what it seems to be? Just like, any of you seen that ants picture taken from a microscope? एक फोटो है चींटी का. It looks more deadly, horrific than any of the demons that have been made by either Hollywood or Bollywood or Z horror show or whatever. The ants picture. And we look at life at a certain perception and we think this is what it is. And the body that we see, it may look nice, but inside what's happening, no one knows till there is a trouble. And sometimes the trouble we get to know after it has gone beyond a limit where we can stop it. So there's a small clip from the movie Matrix which will propel us towards the Gita. Let's watch this.
Right now, we're inside a computer program.
Is it really so hard to believe? Your clothes are different, the plugs in your arms and head are gone. Your hair has changed. Your appearance now is what we call residual self-image. It is the mental projection of your digital self.
This isn't real.
What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain. This is the world that you know. The world as it was at the end of the 20th century. It exists now only as part of a neural interactive simulation that we call the Matrix. You've been living in a dream world, Neo. This is the world as it exists today.
What is the Matrix?
Control. The Matrix is a computer-generated dream world, built to keep us under control in order to change a human being into this.
No. I don't believe it. It's not possible.
I didn't say it would be easy, Neo. I just said it would be the truth.
Stop. Let me out! Let me out! Open up!
Any of you have dreams that you remember? Sometimes you remember. बचपन में मुझे एक ड्रीम आता था, कोई तो मेरे पीछे भागा है. Sometimes, at this age, I should get up and cry. when you are in a dream, do you remember what was your outside personality? You totally identify with that. And then you get immersed. Once a king, he dreamed that he was a butterfly. Such a nice dream. And as a butterfly, he was going from flower to flower in a nice garden, sucking honey. He was blissful. And suddenly he woke up in the morning and he realized that, oh, I'm not a butterfly. I just dreamt that I was a butterfly. And then there was a war that has to be fought. And so much planning, so much anxiety. So he got this very quizzical question. He asked his ministers, am I a king that dreamt I was a butterfly? Or am I a butterfly that's dreaming that I'm a king? It can be. Because when you are in the dream, when you are in illusion, you tend to believe that this is what it is. Just like when a magic show is shown, when the guy tears the card, it looks so real. And then he does something and then he opens it. And then it is as it is. So for someone who is just seeing, he believes. So इसमें एक शक्ति है. तो फाड़ दिया और फिर से उसको इटका दिया. No, but there is just a trick. So one of the aphorisms of the Gita and the Vedas is Atato Brahma Jigyasa. That you need to be curious to know the truth, to know what is real, what is the reality. And if you don't understand, education is all about knowing how does the fan function, how does the earth rotate, all this. But what is a human being? How do we function? Why are we here? So there are the 5 questions which Arjuna had, which are addressed in the Bhagavad Gita through 5 topics of the Gita. And the first question that the Gita focuses is on our identity. Because if our identity is mistaken, who am I? Kaun hu main? Like all of you have this names. I'm not able to read your names, but this is Pawan, and this is Tarun, Varun, Dhruv. So Dhruv, who kept your name?
My parents.
My parents. Very nice name, right? Dhruv. We I just gone to Ayodhya, and we went to the place where Dhruv was born, near Ayodhya in Kanpur. And say, for some reasons, you change your name, do you remain the same person? Name can be changed legally also. आपको नाम अच्छा नहीं लगा, कभी कभी शादी में नाम बदल देते, नहीं लड़की का ये नाम रहेगा तो फिर मैच नहीं होगा कोई, लड़कियों का नाम बदल देते, लड़कों का नहीं बदलते. I don't know why, but they change the name. So who am I? I can say I'm Braj Mohan, but name can be changed. I can say, no, I am 43 years old. Age is also, we can identify with our age, with our name, with our education. But all these are something that we have acquired. Before we have acquired, who am I? And therefore this same king, he asked this very intriguing question. If who I am is what I have, and if I don't have what I have, then who am I? Kaun hu main beyond all these possessions that I have, right from the name. So who am I? Where am I? Thank you. कहाँ हूँ मैं? In the bigger picture of life, where am I? You can say I'm in Mumbai. That is Mumbai ultimate reality. Some decades back, Mumbai was Bombay, and before that, it was just a 5 villages, 5 islands here, or India, or now new name Bharat. So where am I? मैं कहाँ हूँ? And the third question is, मैं जहाँ पे भी हूँ, what am I doing here? I'm in some of us, may feel गलती से भारत में जन्म लिया मैं, पासपोर्ट वीजा मिलता नहीं है. I should have been born in Europe or some other country. So what am I doing here? क्या कर रहा हूँ मैं इधर? These are very philosophical, existential questions. These are not questions that are very superficial. Fourth question is, since when am I here? मैं कब से इधर हूँ? From your date of birth? No. Or maybe yes, in this particular location, the first location at which we are, where am I? I am in this body. और ये body अलग अलग जगह जा रहा है. And the ultimate question, the final question, why am I here? मैं क्यों हूँ इधर? So who, where, what, when, and why? 5 W's which cover the Gita, which are the 5 topics of the Gita: identity, location, activity, duration, and purpose. And if we have clarity for these 5 questions, even in a relationship, why am I here? Why am I in this relationship? For what purpose? And who am I? And if we have these questions clear, then we'll never face any confusion. And that's what is the Gita's promise, that first know these 5 questions, answers to these 5 questions, then the entire picture, clarity, because of lack of which there is anxiety, will be gone. So the Gita starts with a doubt in Arjuna. मैं क्यों करूं ये सब? क्योंकि damned if I do, damned if I don't. मैं कुछ बोलूंगा तो भी डांट पड़ेगी, नहीं बोलूंगा भी तो डांट पड़ेगा. If I work, there will be problem. If I don't work, there will be problem. So there was doubt about his work. That why should I work? Why should I fight? And in the doubt, he approached a right teacher to discover the reality, to discover the truths of life. He approached Krishna when he was in doubt. When Duryodhana was in doubt, he covered it up with superficial courage and that मेरे साथ ये सब लोग हैं and I'm going to win this battle. So there was, both had doubts. All 3 people had doubt. Dhritarashtra had doubt, Duryodhana had doubt, Arjuna had doubt. What is different is that what is the quality of questions they ask when they are in doubt. So the quality of our life depends on the quality of questions we ask. When Newton was sitting under the tree, and when the apple fell, what did he ask? Oh, nice apple, let me eat it. Or, no? But why did the apple fall? But that's not the main question he asked.
How did it fall?
No. When he looked at the apple tree, through the apple tree he saw the moon. And the question he asked is that if the apple falls, why doesn't the moon fall? अगर एप्पल गिरता है कुछ शक्ति के कारण, तो चंद्रमा क्यों नहीं गिर रहा है? And because of that deeper inquiry, he came up with the laws of gravitation. That yes, even the moon is falling, but because it is in rotatory motion, ऐसा लग रहा है कि वो घूम रहा है, वो actually गिर रहा है. According to if you study, it's all moon is also falling, but because of the rotatory motion, it appears it is going on a circle. So the quality of questions that Newton asked led to this great discovery, because of which the technology or the lifestyle we have. And science and life always progresses. It's almost 7 o'clock, so upstairs there is dancing. So sometimes there is feelings of earthquake in our temple. So don't be worried. It's been like this for last 30 years, so don't worry, we have done enough structural tests even recently. So discover is the way by which we are going to go to a greater beauty, greater truth. And once he discovered the truth, he devoted himself to the truth, that purpose for which he existed. And the Gita essentially says that we are in anxiety because our existence is in an atmosphere of non-existence. This existence at which we are is not something that is our natural thing. We are a foreigner, we are an alien to this environment. And how that is will come. And this is called as existential anxiety. That आपके existence पे ही आपको question आता है. And even according to psychology, there are 5 or 4 existential anxieties, that when these things happen in your life, you start to question your existence. मैं क्यों? One is death of a loved one, जिसके ऊपर आपका पूरा निर्भर था. जब वो गुजर जाते हैं, then this is called as स्मशान वैराग्य. जब कोई गुजर जाता है तो you start to think about life. When there is big life changes, you shift from your comfortable place, say here, to say some other country. Then you start to question कि मैं जो सोचता था वो the kind of things that were successful there may not be successful here. So big life changes, aging. जैसे जैसा उम्र बढ़ता है तभी वैसे वैसे we start to question कि मैं जो किया हूँ सही किया हूँ कोई नहीं. Losing a job or feeling stuck in a career, not moving ahead, there is existential anxiety. And world events, COVID or things like that, where in a flash everything that you have is removed, there is a flood, और जो कुछ भी था दुकान सब गया, then also you start to question. And these are considered to be, and they are considered to be real problems that trigger these, that are called, that in the Gita are called as जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि. जब ये 4 चीजें होती है ना, people start to question. Birth, when a new child comes, your entire identity from being an individual changes to now you are a mother, you are a father. So you start to have existential, like now I have to care for someone else also. And also birth is a problem or an issue that cannot be, that is the cause of all other problems. If there is no birth, then there is no life only. So in the Gita it is said that with birth we are situated in this current situation, and with which all the problems start. So even taking birth comes with lot of pain. No birth, no child comes out of the womb of the mother happily smiling. It's an intense, that 10 centimeters journey is a very intense one. So therefore I think Mark Twain says this: the 2 most important days of my life are the day I am born and the day I find out why. We all have taken human birth, so that's first success. And the second success is जब हमको पता चलेगा कि क्यों मैंने ये लिया है. So some of the signs of existential anxiety, that the kind of feelings that we get is there's no meaning to anything. I feel overwhelmed. I'm insignificant. What's the point? I feel hopeless. And Arjuna was going through these exact same feelings of existential anxiety because he was facing, out of the 4, birth, old age, disease, he was facing the reality of death. Not of himself, but of his loved ones. And he is going to become the cause of their death. So old age, birth, disease, when you get disease, especially severely disease, or death, these cause anxieties, especially existential anxiety. And we can either go the route of Arjuna to discover the truth, or we can go the route of Duryodhana, that to just superficially fill ourselves with things and strengths. So human life is said to be a life where we inquire about deeper truths and then we go ahead. And if you don't inquire, then we again go back to animal life, because animal life doesn't go into inquiry about deeper truths. उसको किसी ने मारा, वो ये नहीं सोचता है कि क्यों मारा होगा. It is only looking at food, and all it is concerned is आज खाना मिलना चाहिए. It doesn't think about tomorrow, कल खाना मिलेगा कि नहीं, कल कहाँ से होगा. So it's a very today focused life, which is called as prayers, immediate satisfaction. But human life is about long-term planning, long-term. Tomorrow my life should be better as well as today. And if we don't utilize the capacity of inquiry that is in us, it is said we are as good as animals, but just polished, sophisticated, two-legged animals. Once in Alexander Great, he was camping in one of parts of India, and एक चोर घुस गया था. And the thief was trying to steal all the booty, all the good things, and as he was trying to escape, he was caught. And then he was brought to Alexander. Alexander became very angry. How can you steal from me? मैं राजा हूँ. I'm going to kill you. Immediately the thief says, hey, we are in the same business. Why are you killing me? So you should have some sympathy. दोनों एक ही काम करें. तो मैं राजा हूँ, तुम चोर हो, एक ही काम कैसे हो सकता है? See, you are stealing countries, and I'm stealing some small little things. So I am thief and you are thief the great. And if you go abroad, you'll see many of these museums, what all stolen from India, displayed there as their pride. But it's all stolen property. So when this thief spoke this philosophically, so Alexander, बाद में कुछ दम है, उसको छोड़ दिया. He started to think. And Alexander, it said that when he was dying, he had 3 wishes. And those 3 wishes was that my doctor should carry my coffin. All the wealth that I have accumulated should be poured on the road along the path. And my hand should be out like this, showing that even best of the doctors could not save me. And all the wealth that I accumulated is here, and I am not carrying anything that I accumulated. But without understanding deeper levels of life, if we just live for gratification, then it is animal the great. We are just animal the great. We are not living a human life. And therefore, in the Mahabharata, this verse comes, which says, Ahara nidra bhayametu namscha samanya veda pashubir narana dharmo yeko adhiko vishesho dharme nahina pashubir narana. So this verse says that there are 4 common needs that we all have, all life forms have. What is that? Ahara, eating. खाने से खुशी मिलता है. बॉम्बे में तो कितना होटल्स फ्लरिश करते हैं वीकेंड्स में, खाओ गल्लीस. And eating does give happiness. But animals also get that happiness, we also get that happiness. And animals, they get that happiness without working much. We know sometimes होटल में वेट करने के लिए 1 घंटा कभी कभी लेडीज को लगता है कितना देर वेट करने से घर में मैं बना देती थी. इंस्टेड ऑफ वेटिंग इन द हीट आउटसाइड, स्लीपिंग, द प्लेजर ऑफ स्लीपिंग. एनीबॉडी डिनाइज? ऑन वीकेंड एस्पेशली सोना बहुत प्यारा है सबको. गोल्ड एंड सोना, दोनों को सोना ही बोलते हैं. Wealth and sleeping. You work hard for 5 days and 2 days you want to sleep. But the pleasure of sleeping is same for the animals and for the humans. Samanyam etat pashubir narana. The experience and the pleasure that we get for a pigeon or for a human, the experience is same. And sometimes animals sleep better than humans. दादर स्टेशन पे इतना एंग्जाइटी है, इतना लोग दौड़ रहे इधर उधर, बट कुत्ता बिंदास सो रहा है, उसको कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. When we used to give exams in IIT, when I thought इतना पढ़ाई कर रहा हूँ 2 साल, एक बार IIT जाऊंगा तो शांति मिलेगी. IIT में गया और जब पहला क्लास अटेंड किया, ऐसा लगा जो 2 महीने में पहले पढ़ता था वो एक क्लास में बता दिया इसने. So more anxiety now to perform. So there's always, वो situation में जाऊंगा तो anxiety नहीं रहेगी. Another type of anxiety. Sometimes when our IIT students, when used to see that dog is roaming freely in the campus and we have anxiety of exam tomorrow. क्या फॉर्चुनेट है, कुत्ते का जन्म लिया. But it's having its own anxieties, its own troubles. So the pleasure of sleeping is both, is same. But animals don't make any arrangements. कुत्ता मैक्सिमम क्या करेगा, एक गड्ढा खोदेगा सोने के लिए. हमको साउंड प्रूफ विंडोज चाहिए, एसी चाहिए, कोजी बेड चाहिए. उसके बाद भी नींद आएगी उसकी कुछ गारंटी नहीं है. Defending. Animals have self-defense, their own mechanisms, and humans spend so much energy, money to defend. Sometimes physical, sometimes emotional. Mating. Animals have sex pleasure, humans have sex pleasure. So these 4 things that animals do and humans do, they do give happiness, but it's considered as the first level of happiness, level 1. Humans have much higher responsibilities and capabilities of experiencing contentment and satisfaction, which animals don't have. And we are not denying these 4 common needs, but we should not remain at that level. Therefore, the scripture says, Dharmo tesham adhiko vishesho. But in humans, there is dharma, there is ethics, there is the concept of future, what is truth, what is the foundation of my life. So all this capacity, if you don't use dharmena hina, then you are just living an animalistic life. Therefore, the first level of happiness is the happiness of having our needs met. हमारे ज़रूरतें हैं, उसको पूरी करने में पहला लेवल का हैप्पीनेस हमको मिलता है. There are physical needs which like eating, sleeping, mating, defending, and apart from physical needs there are also emotional needs. We had a man coming to our programs. He once came to me and told, Prabhuji, the only one who really loves me in my home is my dog. Because every time I go, the dog is wagging its tail and super happy. No one else is bothering whether I have come or not. सब लोग अपने अपने मोबाइल में इतने लगे, केवल कुत्ता जो है वो बस अपना पूंछ हिलाते रहता है, no matter how many times I go. So there is also an emotional need that we have of acknowledgement. Sometimes we go to some parties and people don't even look at us कि तुम आए हो कि नहीं हो, and we feel kind of hurt and don't want to stay there for long. So there is that need for acceptance, and many times as a teenager, the acceptance from parents changes to peers, and then the teenagers want to live a life that is cool, that is acceptable for them. So the need for acceptance, there is that, and if the need is met by buying the latest iPhone 15, then you think इसमें खुशी है, but that need is over within 6 months. नया मॉडल आ जाएगा, then you are considered as backward class again. Or if someone else gets, तुम्हारे पास तो iPhone 15 है, मेरे पास तो Pro Max है, या और कुछ. I remember when I was a small child, from 5th standard to 6th standard, we were allowed to wear full pants. Till 5th, we were only allowed half pants. And my mother felt, तुम्हारा half pants अभी भी पहनने लायक है. So she didn't buy me a full pant. And when I went to the school, when I saw others wearing the full pant, इतना दुख हुआ मुझे, because now my need of acceptance is changed. कल तक वही पैंट, वही हाफ पैंट था, no problem. So having our needs met is there, but the needs continue to change, and therefore this happiness is always elusive. अभी खाया, खुश, 2 दिन के बाद याद करेंगे, परसों ना इतना खाया था गोविंदास में, वो याद करके कुछ पेट भरने वाला है नहीं. Again you need to feed. Therefore it is said happiness of having is like a sine wave. जब मिलता है तो बूस्ट मिलता है, और अगर खो जाते हो, if you lose that, then it will take you to a deeper. It's called nowadays as no mobile phobia. 1 मिनट के लिए आपका मोबाइल हाथ में नहीं है तो डर लगता है कहाँ गया. एक बार एक व्यक्ति लेटेस्ट फोन खरीद के जा रहा था और वो फिसल के गिर गया और उसके पीछे गिरा और टक बोल के आवाज आया और भगवान को प्रार्थना करने लगा, हे भगवान, लेट इट मी माय बोन नॉट माय फोन. मेरा हड्डी टूट जाए चलेगा क्योंकि वो सुधर जाएगा, ये फोन टूट गया, 1 लाख रुपया खर्चा किया मैं. So the happiness of having, first of all, it cannot be equated with numbers, the needs, because just having 10 rasgullas is not going to increase your level of happiness, because after maybe 3 or 4 rasgullas your satiation levels are reached. शुगर अभी और नहीं खा सकते, खाएंगे भी तो आपको खुशी नहीं मिलेगा. So the happiness of having is situational. In one situation like now, air conditioning is nice, but same air conditioning अगर ठीक से नहीं मॉनिटर किया, one of the one of the biggest bedroom quarrels are about the air conditioning. कितना रखना चाहिए? Situational. It is habituational. एक बार आदत पड़ गया, नए घर में आए, 1-2 महीने के लिए खुशी लगता है, पहले कैसा लगता था, अभी कितना अच्छा घर में हूँ, बट आफ्टरवाइज वो घर में रहने से कुछ खुशी मिलता है नहीं. You become habituated to it, or the phone, or the dress, or whatever, or the job. It's also overestimation. The mind cooks up a picture that ये मिलेगा तो बस you are there. So we take an example of getting into IIT or getting whatever is it is very overestimation. It's very relative happiness of having. किसी को दही भेंडी चाहिए तो किसी को भेंडी फ्राई चाहिए, दोनों नहीं खाएंगे. And it's also temporary. तात्कालिक सुख है वो. Sometimes for few hours if it's sleep, and sometimes for few minutes if it's food. There's a nice little. So the happiness of having forms an acronym called as SHORT. It is there, but it's a short-lived. And don't spend your entire life just running after having. No, consumerism is another name for this happiness. This is a nice video about a monkey, which was happiness or anxiety? Anxiety of enjoying everything that you have or to have. I feel sad for the monkey. And it's almost like cruelty. Sometimes this is what we do with our kids. And more than kids or the monkey, this is not the monkey, this is the mind, the monkey mind, that just is focusing on having, and not thinking about what I have, am I enjoying that? So yes, if you don't have anything, having something definitely gives happiness, but the next level of happiness is appreciating what you have. भगवान ने बहुत कुछ ऑलरेडी दिया है, उसके बारे में क्या हम कृतज्ञ है? Are we grateful for what we have? And if you don't come to this level, then your anxiety levels will never come down, because having after a threshold gives rise to another types of anxieties. जब नहीं है तो anxiety है, जब when things are there more than what our needs are there, again it creates, because there is no clarity. Why are you having all that? वो बंदर जो है, why it is having? Because अगर एक लेके उसको, it is a proper concept called as minimalism. कम रखो, क्लटर मत करो घर को, जीवन को, जो है अच्छी तरह से एंजॉय करो. And then there is another is have as much as you can. जितना जीवन में इकट्ठा कर सकते हो तो करते रहो. But in that don't lose the second level, because which is the most important, is to appreciate what you have. जब हम खाते हैं तो खाने का जो सुख है वो एक तो इधर है टंग में जो 2 इंच का है, उसके बाद जो पेट में जब जाता है, पेट में अगर जब जाने के बाद अगर डाइजेस्ट नहीं होगा खाना, तो वही खाना जो आपने खाया वो आपको क्या देगा? तकलीफ देगा. टुडे इज अ डे ऑफ फास्ट फूड्स एंड स्लो डाइजेशन और क्विक intake and constipated outgoing. So if the food is not digested, then it can create so many places in local trains I see piles clinic. क्यों piles clinic इतना सब बॉम्बे में लगा हुआ है? क्योंकि क्या खाते हैं? वड़ा पाव खाते हैं, क्विक सॉल्यूशन भूख मिटाने के लिए. लेकिन वो वड़ा पाव जल्दी तो भूख मिटाता है, लेकिन इतना मैदा है वो पूरा अंदर ट्रैफिक जाम कर देता है. I am not against vada pav. I also like vada pav, but I take in limits whenever once in a while I get, not every day. So appreciating what you have, just like when you in Ayurveda it is said, जब खाते हो ना तो आधा ही पेट खाओ और आधा उसके आधा जो है 1/4 fill it with water and leave the 1/4 empty. But so many of us are tempted, right? When you see something nice, कि भर लो, ऐसा मौका नहीं मिलेगा. चाइनीज भी है, इटालियन भी है, मारवाड़ी भी है, वो डाइजेशन बाद में और खाया 15 मिनट या आधा घंटा, फिर 2-3 घंटे तक परेशान है, पेट दुख रहा है और कुछ नहीं कर सकते, बस लेटे. सो पार्ट ऑफ डाइजेशन, पार्ट ऑफ हेल्थ इज टू कंज्यूम इन अ वे so that you can process it. Same way when you are having things, then have in a way that you can appreciate. Give time in your life to appreciate what you have. That's called as prayer, that's called as gratitude. That you spend time to appreciate. And somehow in our fast-paced life, we don't spend time with people whom we appreciate. है मन में, दिल में, लेकिन समय नहीं बिताते, तो फिर लगता है कोई मेरे लिए केयर ही नहीं कर रहे, मैं इतना काम कर रहा हूं. So appreciating what you have and who you have. केवल क्या है वो नहीं, कौन है आपके साथ. And it's mutual. If you appreciate, you will get appreciation. Everybody wants appreciation, but nobody really wants to spend energy to appreciate. Many times when I go to birthday parties, I ask, ठीक है इसके बारे में कुछ अच्छा बताओ. Either people can't recollect, or they speak very superficial because they have not really developed the habit. Therefore, this is the second level of appreciation. And in Gita, we are going to take the 5 topics to understand what all we have and who all we have, because of which we have this life, and those 5 questions will be answered. So the Gita first of all focuses on the environment in which we are there, the nature around us, the action, the karma, the self, the jiva, the time, the kala, and Ishvara, the supreme. And this forms an acronym called as NASTI. Not nasty, but NASTI. So just easier to remember with acronyms. So we'll take one by one. First we'll take the central thing, that is about our own self. Because these 5 things will give us different levels of happiness as we properly able to understand and deal with them. You all have mobiles, right? Can you all remove your mobiles? Just Nikalo. We're going to do something called as a mirror meditation. Open your cameras to selfie mode. You all are there? Now, first of all, be in a very relaxed. So, does it mobile? Okay. And as you're looking at your mirror, your picture in the mobile, reverse the thought flow. It is not you looking at the mirror, but understand that the mirror is looking at you. If the mirror was looking, तो जो आदमी अंदर है ना, वो आपको देख रहा है. So, and as you're doing that, just pay attention to the thoughts that you're getting. And we will do this for 2 minutes and then we'll go ahead. Don't stay on any thought for long, but just let the thoughts come, go through their natural evolution. It may be about your physicality or your inner mindset, or why are you the way you are. What is the message that you see in your eyes? Is there a harshness for you, or is there kindness for yourself? Your mind may go through something that you dislike about your figure, your personality. Just observe each thought and just move ahead. What is the general motion that comes to you when you look at yourself? Is it fear of not being beautiful or getting old, having a wrong kind of tone of the skin? Is it anger? Is it acceptance? Is it inquiry? Okay, we'll break the meditation. Anyone wants to share their thoughts during this short meditation? Yes?
Just me questioning myself that I'm looking for the answer. Will I get my answers here? If I get my answer, how long will I be able to stay with this answer? Will I be able to accept whatever has been, taught to me?
So a lot of self-talk was
Yes.
happening. Good. Any other experiences of the mirror meditation?
So I could see myself, and I was thinking about my flaws as well as positive things which I could see in me, and which I was not looking at for many days. But actually, when you told to look at my mirror image, then I tend to focus on what things I should do or what I'm not doing. So self-reflection was mainly one.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Dhruv. Anyone else? Yes, madam?
Although I did have a self-reflection, I felt like it was mostly physical. Then afterwards, when I was staring at myself for a while, I kept on thinking about my personality, or what trait, or what I did today, things like that. And then I would do something better today.
So as you spend time with yourself in front of the mirror, from the superficial, persona that you carry, you start to see that you start to go deeper into your identity. Deeper into your identity. And this introspection, this self-reflection is what brings our inner, power out. Almost every successful, endeavor has a lot of introspection. A time when they sit with themselves and clarify where am I going, and this self-talk. It said that even before playing a shot in a cricket match, the player has to pull himself from all the noise, expectations, and everything that is there on that field, to reflect that who am I? Let me stick to my strengths and let me play this ball by ball rather than trying to live for others' expectations or live up to what the world wants me to. And when they come to that space, our true identity, or nearer to our true identity, we start to excel even in our public domain, in the world outside. And if you don't do that, if you are just in the passion, performance, then it's like using the mobile without charging it. And for Arjuna, the mirror was Krishna. Sometimes we are so clouded that we ourselves, mirrors can help to an extent, but we need teachers that can help us to self-reflect and go deeper and harness the power that is already there. Just like, a current wire, the more there is blockages, the more less power will pass through. But the more you remove all the impurities, all the blockages that is not pure copper, the more the power, the electricity will flow through. So the world outside is trying to boost us with motivation, with messages of you can do it. But the Gita's way of charging us is to clear that block that we have with our identity, with our purpose. And when that is clear, we become invincible, we become clear in our action. And it's a very popular thing called as mirror meditation, which introduces us to the 2.7, where Arjuna seeks help of Krishna to self-reflect and go deeper, and Krishna, being the higher self, being the super self, also shows Arjuna which is commonly not possible, just like a X-ray machine. X-ray machine is not like a normal mirror. It just shows even deeper than what can be skin deep. With this normal mirror, you can only see skin deep. But with an X-ray, with MRI, we can see more and more deeper. So the Guru, the teacher, the Gita acts like that mirrors that can show us ourselves and not imposing something. This is a nice poem that is written by Kim Uliana. It says, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, it doesn't matter if I am short or tall. If I have skinny legs or my hips are wide, it only matters who I am inside. Blue eyes, brown eyes, black or green, what makes me beautiful can't be seen. When you look at me, don't judge me by my parts. The most beautiful thing about me is my heart." If someone is given an option, difficult option, but somebody is going to get married, he is asked, whom do you want? You want a beautiful wife or a caring wife? For temporary happiness, if he is focused, he'll say beautiful wife. बोले दोनों है तो अच्छा है. But for long term, caring wife. Somebody who is beautiful from inside, somebody who has empathy from inside. And marriage in Vedic terminology is called as vivaha. And in Sanskrit, everything has a great meaning. And vivaha has this word called as vaha. Vaha means a carrier, vahan. So vivaha means what? A special carrier that's going to help you for a specific purpose for which, just like, if you want to go, you need a vehicle to go. So vivaha becomes a facility, an opportunity by which each one can help to go towards a certain direction. Therefore, there are the 7 vows that are taken in a marriage. I am not coming to the marriage aspect. I am just giving this as an example. That say when you have a vehicle, the vehicle is a facility by which you walk, you can go further in a situation which is not possible with your own legs. But just because you have a vehicle, do you stop to walk? You also need to strengthen your own muscles along with using some special facility. You don't become so dependent on the car that you forget to walk, because you have this innate ability. Same way, everything that comes into our life is a facility to use for a particular purpose, whether it be marriage, whether it be education, intelligence. All these are facilities that God gives to utilize so that we can do a particular task rather than not just depend on this so much that you forget to develop your inner strength, your inner capability. And sometimes we identify with the vehicle so much, with what we have, that we forget that I am something more than what I have. I am not just defined or confined by my positions. And the biggest position that we have is this body. And many times we identify with the body, that ye man. And if the body is nice, we feel nice. And if the body is obese, we feel, oh, I'm not that presentable. But it's the body, you are not the body. The body is just a vehicle in which you have been placed. So don't use the vehicle, don't identify with the vehicle so much that you have self-esteem, your dignity, your insecurity because of the vehicle that has been given to you. Even the mind is a vehicle for the soul, for our identity. Some people's mind, is intelligent, is very, some people are not. So each one is given different types of vehicles. Even the feelings you're not your feelings. Sometimes you feel sad, doesn't mean that your life is gone. So many times we identify so much with all these. God has given all these as a vehicle for a particular purpose, to experience something and not to identify with these things. With our thoughts, with our job, with our health, with our wealth, with our habits, with our car, with our society, with our abilities, with our mistakes. Sometimes we identify so much with our mistakes that I am stupid because I made a stupid mistake. So, distancing ourselves with what we have done is very important for us to not go into judgment about our own selves or others, successes or failures or positions. ये सब जो है जीवन में आता है और जाता है, ये हम नहीं है, और जब है उसको उपयोग कीजिए, use when it is a facility for you to know you, and when it is not, then don't be so attached to that. Like sometimes, someone may not have a good, in like teenage life, there is this pimples. There is something called as pimple anxiety, and that pimple anxiety is causing in many teens obesity. Which is a bigger problem, pimples or obesity? Obesity. But pimples is a natural part of life. वो आता है तो जाता है, लेकिन एंजाइटी लेंगे उसके कारण. मुल्तानी मिट्टी भी लगाओ, फेयर एंड लवली लगाओ, जो कुछ भी लगाओ, वो अगर आपके जीन्स में है तो कुछ कुछ लोगों को पूरा आएगा, कुछ कुछ लोगों को आएगा नहीं. डोंट कंपेयर, बिकॉज ईच वन has a different vahan, different vehicle, and therefore Gita says you are not your field in which you are living. And in the 13th chapter, Krishna says this: idam shariram kaunteya kshetram iti abhidiyate etad yo vitti tam prahu kshetrajna iti tadvida. So this is one of the foundational teachings of the Gita, to not mix our identity with our activity or our positions, because when we do that, agar udhar kuch ho gaya, so we start to get affected. So therefore I am not the car I drive, aham car. But also to understand, I am in the car I drive. मैं शरीर नहीं हूं, लेकिन मैं शरीर में हूं. मुझे शरीर का जरूरत है. जब तक ये शरीर के साथ हूँ, I need to take care of this body at the same time, not be so much only body focused that I forget to strengthen and or cripple the soul. So the soul also has to be strengthened along with the body. So we are special. Each one is special because each one has a unique soul, unique driver that is driving this body, and each one has a unique car. No one's car is the same. सबका Mercedes नहीं है, न किसी का पद्मिनी है. सबका अलग अलग brands का है, with all different. So the example that we give is of a mobile. In the mobile there are 3 levels. One is a gross, this mobile. Then there is the operating system. Then there is the SIM card. So even with our material and with our identity, there is a gross identity that I am a male, born in particular land, this place, that thing. This gross body, which is many times identical with my parents or my grandparents. Sometimes even the habits, the way we walk. जैसे किसी को देखेंगे और उनके माता पिता को देखेंगे ना, पता चलेगा ये कहाँ से आया इसका trait. And then there is the operating system, the mindset, which is the subtle body. There is a sthula sharira, gross body. There is a sukshma sharira. Then there is a karana sharira, or the soul, the true identity that we are. And when we understand this, then we are able to distance ourselves from the problem and deal with the problem if there is a problem or the anxiety. I am not a poor person. I am in a poor situation or the wealth that I am there. I am not a wealthy person. I am having wealth for a purpose. This is a vehicle. And yes, if opportunity comes, we can always improve the vehicle that we are carrying. So this is a photo of 5 generations. Even personalities change, even the body changes, mind changes. But I am not the body or the mind that I am possessing. These are just things that are being given to me. Therefore it is called as deha, जो दिया जाता है प्रकृति के, from the nature. This is a very famous experiment that is done. Originally BBC made a documentary out of it in their channel 2, and recently Netflix has come up with this. So I'll just show a clip. It's called as the rubber arm experiment. Let's see this.
Words alone carry a lot of weight. But when the power of words is combined with the power of authority, you can get people to believe just about anything. Dr. Willman, I have an honorary degree in pseudoepistemology from the University of Phoenix. I placed an ad online inviting participants to take part in an experiment. A trial experiment?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to make these people believe that this fake rubber prop is actually their real arm.
Seems unlikely.
This is a Fibonacci silk. Let me show you how it works. If I drape it like this, the gap is now gone between your shoulder and the rubber arm, and your brain kind of fills in the gap. It's called the Seinfeldian effect. Simultaneously, because you cannot see your real left arm, your brain disassociates that. That's called the Costanza effect. Wiggle the fingers on your right hand. Great. And now wiggle the fingers on your left hand. I'm going to attempt to establish a connection right now using these. I'm just going to rub the feather along the fake arm and your real arm that you cannot see. Your brain starts to connect the fake arm sensations and make them real. Now let's see how strong this connection is. Do you feel this?
Yes.
Do you feel this?
Yes.
Do you feel this? Yes. Do you feel this? Yes. Do you feel this? Yes. Do you feel this?
Now it's not even touching the real
Yes.
hand.
And
That's cool.
isn't that wild?
Yeah, it's fair. Because your hand is.
Yeah.
That's
Your
weird.
brain
Yeah,
connects them.
that's interesting.
Let's just test how far that connection goes.
Okay.
The cold test. Now on your right hand, do you feel that?
I do.
Cold.
Yes.
That's why I call it the cold test.
Genius.
When I place it over here, how does that feel? Keep in mind, there's no science happening here. Just the power of magic and the power of BS. Now, what do you feel?
Nothing.
You don't feel an ice cube resting on top of your hand?
No.
Let's try another experiment. I call this one the heat test. Be very gentle. I promise not to burn you. Okay. Just curious if you feel that. What do you feel?
A little bit of heat.
Tell me how this feels.
Ah!
Now, do you feel that?
No.
This?
No.
That?
Nope.
The pain test. For the pain test, I'm going to use this pointy needle. I'm curious. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
What does this feel like?
Yeah, I can feel it.
Is it okay if I prick your real hand?
Yeah.
No blood, like acupuncture. Do you feel that? Nothing.
Nothing.
Do you feel that?
No.
How about that?
No.
Anything now?
No. Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Let's try something else. The hammer test.
Oh!
You're good. Don't worry.
Wow.
Look at your fingers. Your hand's okay, right? If you don't mind stepping into testing room 2, we're going to collect a urine sample. I'm kidding. It's in testing room 1.
Oh.
You know what happens in number 2.
Oh no.
So this is called as neuroplasticity, that whatever you see, you start to identify that identification by attachment. And because we are in this body, we are seeing the body, therefore we start to think I am the body. And whatever happens to the body, we start to experience all that. And of course it's not as simple as it's shown here. And I don't recommend at all to try this at home. Uh, but it's a very famous experiment called as rubber arm experiment, where that the mind starts to adapt and accept something that it is not as itself. And that's what has happened. And no matter how much we think this is me, as old age comes, as death comes, we start to lose that identity, and that's when there is tremendous anxiety. That is called as terminal restlessness. The highest anxiety that a person ever feels is said is on the deathbed. Because all that he has identified with, he starts to disassociate, starts to see that ये सब मेरे साथ नहीं जाने वाला है. Once a king, he was approached by a saint, and the king was not that spiritual. So the king, the sage said, "I can see hands. I'm an astrologer. I'm a palmist. So I can show you. I can see your hand." So who is not interested? So many times I am approached. हाथ देखते हैं क्या स्वामी जी? So he showed the hand, and the sage said, "I have a good news and a bad news. Which one should I show? Tell you first." Usually भी अगर ऐसा ऑप्शन देंगे तो क्या बोलेंगे? पहले बुरी खबर सुनाओ, फिर बाद में अच्छी खबर के साथ कोई वो नहीं रहे, एंग्जाइटी नहीं रहे. Sir, you tell me, no, what's the bad news and then the good news. So the bad news is that you're going to die very soon. But the good news is that you're going to go to heavens because you are such a nice king, noble king. Said, oh, ठीक है, at least स्वर्ग जा रहा हूँ. Said, I have still further news. The bad news there is that there is lot of heavy rush in the heavens. बहुत लोग आ रहे हैं आजकल. So there is lot of rush there. So people don't like crowded places. But the good news is that because you are such a noble king, you are going to be given a villa, a separate place to stay. But the bad news in that villa is that in that villa there are a lot of mosquitoes. It happens, सब कुछ अच्छा है, लेकिन मच्छर ने जीना हराम कर दिया. You go to some mountain, nice place, but mosquitoes or some thing. So bad news is that there are a lot of mosquitoes in your villa, but the good news is that in your villa there is a mosquito net available. And the bad news is that there is no needle available there. Good news is that there is a thread available. धागा है उधर, सुई नहीं. So only thing you do is when you are going to die, you just take one needle, and with that needle you can stitch your mosquito net, and you can live happily in the heavens. So when that was told to this king, the king introspected and he said, "Sadhu ji, मैं सुई नहीं लेके जा सकता हूँ. I cannot take any needle. When I die, I can't take anything." And the sadhu said, "That's what I am telling you. You can't take anything. Why are you so anxious and busy working hard and forgetting your next journey?" So, of course, this video, I don't recommend Netflix to watch, but this is one particular video I found, which I can share the entire thing, link if you want. So, if you don't learn and grow in our journey, then we'll again come revolving. So, the journey of life starts from the maternity ward to the mortuary ward, from the birth bed to the death bed. In between we change many beds, but if we don't evolve out of it, then again we will come back and back. And when someone passes away, this knowledge of Atma, soul, helps us to be solaced knowing that my loved ones still exist, but not in the realm that I can connect. They're in another realm, in a realm, and they're going on. And with spirituality, I can at least help them go ahead. And some scientific proofs for afterlife, that there is life after death. Once there was two kids who were arguing in the womb of a mother, twins, that there is no life after birth. किसने देखा है? क्योंकि and that this one kid said that nobody has returned after taking birth. So why should I believe that there is life after birth? And this other kid was saying there is beautiful life after birth. This life is not the real life. This life is an engagement for us to develop ourselves, to prepare ourselves so that when we go into the beautiful life, we are ready to grow further. But this kid was saying, no, I don't believe there is a mother, Kaima, Dikini, and I believe there is life after birth. So sometimes, we have those questions. So there is also scientific research done on people who remember their past lives. Bache, because they just come, when we come after a vacation, the memories are fresh. जैसे बॉम्बे के जीवन में जाते हैं भूल जाते कहाँ गए थे. Similarly, it said when a child is born, many times he is crying because remembering his past lives and all the troubles that were there, because the memories are very fresh. So one particular story is about the dying of Princess Diana. There's one particular boy who claimed to be the Diana reincarnated. I think it happened in somewhere in 2000, Princess Diana dying. It was a great mystery. How did she die? And this boy recollected the entire episode with great details, which nobody knew, and then they could demystify that entire dying of Diana. Another is this crew member on the Titanic ship. This particular man who claimed that I was a crew on Titanic, and he explained a lot of details how did the Titanic sink, which became the basis for the making of the movie and many more research. And many things like this. Dr. Ian Stevenson has written many books about children who remember their previous lives. Even in India, people, they can speak some other foreign language which they are not used to anyone that is around. And in this book there are so many, not just this book, there are many other books written lately also about children's past life. And there used to be a Shekhar Suman's show long back called as Raz Pichle Janma Ka. In that there was this past life hypnosis by which even an adult could be taken to their past life and come back with the memory why they are having these anxieties, these phobias. So this is a known treatment called as past life regression. It has to be done under expert guidance, but there are these proofs, and also there is a proof for near-death experience. People who face a sudden accident or a coma, they can start to see themselves beyond their body and start to see that how the operation is being done. We had a devotee who had a heart attack, and as he was being operated, he saw himself being operated. He used to come for our course. So there is this narration in the second in the book called A Second Chance, where Ajamil's reincarnation story is given. So the Bhagavad Gita explains that we are going through this cycle of different life forms, taking through different sessions, different forms for different durations. So in tomorrow's session, what we are going to discuss is that who is controlling all this, or what is controlling all this. And when we understand this, we will be able to better deal with our karma, there is a family aspect to this, there is a collective karma, there is individual karma, and the 5 causes of karma. 5. So the 2 specialities that we discussed today is that We are not this body, we are a soul spiritual spark that is in this body, but we have all been gifted with a unique capacities for a particular purpose. And tomorrow's sessions we're going to discover why am I here. So who am I? I am a soul, spiritual, I am Atma. Where am I? I am in this particular body. So I am not the body, but I am in the body. So I am not the vehicle, I am not the car, but I have been gifted a car for a purpose. Let me use it for that purpose rather than just using it for eating, sleeping, mating and depending, which is a basic level of happiness. But to grow in our happiness, we need to come to the second level, appreciating what you have and who you have. And this, which is where Gita comes into picture, to help us appreciate the life that we have. And with that appreciation, our gratitude increases, and with that gratitude, our levels of happiness also increase more than our anxieties. Okay? So tomorrow we'll take, and that will take in a with a story of somebody who had lost their loved one. So we'll take kind of in a movie format. ऐसा जैसे मूवी चलता है, कुछ हादसा हो गया फिर उसका फ्लैशबैक होता है. So we want to take in that way. But tomorrow we have 2 sessions combined, it's with a break. So you all have to forego your level 1 happiness of sleeping for a while in the afternoon. Be here by 3:30 so that we can have 3:30 to 5:30 half an hour break, and 6 to 8. We used to have this initially 6 sessions, Monday to Saturday. Then we came to Friday, Saturday and Sunday. But then even Fridays, bosses are not leaving there. Even Friday, पहले Fridays को थोड़ा जल्दी आते थे लोग. अभी Fridays को भी fry हो जाते हैं. So they come late. So there were requests, can we have Saturday, Sunday? So that's why we have crunched it to Saturday, Sunday. So the recordings will be available of longer sessions also if you want to know everything in great detail. Scientific aspects of past life, near death and other things. But so tomorrow we'll all meet 3:30 here. So please do rest well and adjust your Sunday chores in a way that you can come here at 3:30. And now we can take questions as they are arranging for dinner for all of you. Yes?
So Prabhuji,
Can you give mic? Mangesh Bhu, wireless now. Yes.
Pranam Prabhuji. As you said in the neuroplasticity, if we can accept and identify things that are not present, then is there any way that we can disidentify, like, that something which is there but we don't want to accept it, or it's like the pain and suffering. So
it's a spiritual practice by which we start to use things but not be consumed by things. Right now we are overcome by our possessions. घर लेते हैं और घर के mobiles. We buy mobiles, but then mobiles buy us. We start becoming slaves of our things rather than masters of our mind. We start to become ruled by the things that we have by the mind rather than ruling the mind. So when we start to learn and practice spirituality, we don't remain Godas, slave of the senses. We start to become Goswami. We start to become master of the senses, by which we can define, and just like students, they can't focus because the mind is just all over the place. But with spirituality, you start to get a hold. And it's not an easy trick. It takes time, it takes practice, because it's something that has not been practiced for lifetimes together.
So is there any difference in bhakti, which I feel is surrendering yourself toward the divine, and spirituality, which is to know more about yourself? Is it different, or am I...
It's the same. The example that is given is that when you come in front of the sun, You will see the sun clearly, you will see yourself clearly. So when you surrender, which is the path of bhakti, you start to become your unique way in which you offer your services to God, and your uniqueness flourishes along with your submission. So submitting doesn't mean you lose your identity. You flourish your identity as that individual being. Therefore Krishna in the second chapter he says, Natvayam jatu nasham natva neve janadipa. So none of us diminish by spirituality. We flourish in our identity, in our offering, because God has made us for a purpose and we flourish for that purpose. Okay?
Last question. Gita is specifically today is about Bhagavad Gita. So is Gita is to attain moksha, or is just to change the lifestyle and for our life, the well-being, or to improve the quality of life that we live?
Both. Gita is art of living and art of living. Yeah, living.
So what you were saying about
So how we can live well now and how we can live happily. So both are important. Just like a student has to know how to stay in the college nicely, the same time study properly, so you can graduate to a better place. So both are not distant, both are a combined thing. So Gita harmonizes. Otherwise there are some parts which, like Jnana Marga, where you leave the world, where you deny the gifts that God has given you and you try to get moksha. But the path of bhakti is where both are harmoniously done. It's like a coconut. As it matures, it detaches. So, any other? Yes? Pavan?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Earlier there was a slide where there was a picture that monkeys turn into the human beings because they start questioning. And if we don't start questioning, then we will turn back to the animals again. So at the same time, I have a thought. We always try to live in the present. So that's why kids are happy, because they live in the present. They never question. The thoughts came and go. They are happy in that. So why should we question? Or what should be done for the thoughts if they are coming?
Good question by Pavan. Kids are so anxiety free. Why are they anxiety free? Because they are in their natural habitat where they are sheltered. Just take a kid and put him in a shopping mall where there is no parent around. See how he will be. So once we are under a shelter, we start to become being in the present because you are anxiety free. You can focus. So the Gita's message is that be under the shelter of Krishna, who is your guide. And then you can focus what is that, because now that I am sheltered, I can focus on the seva that is there in front of me, rather than worrying where am I going. So it is just like when you take a flight, you plan that you want to go somewhere, but once you are in the flight, you are taken care. So then you focus. But till you catch the flight, you have to know where is the terminal, where is what. So till you find a shelter, you always have to plan. But once you find a shelter, then you can focus. Okay? Any other? So we can have dinner, and I am also available for questions or answers or any queries that we can have. So thank you all for paying attention to the Bhagavad Gita Essentials. The Gita's promise is what? It is there to make something technology cannot help, about anxiety-less life. And anxieties is because there is no clarity, and clarity about 5 questions. Who am I? Where am I? What am I doing here? since when am I here and why am I here. So if you are interested to know these questions, then Gita is the book. And if the hunger is not there, then actually the food may not appear. Of course, Gita is an appetite that can serve all kinds of palates. So let's now take the prasad that's waiting for us. Everybody is smelling the prasad. Hare Krishna.